So Thunder sucks now. I don't know why they did this. I can understand every other change at least a little bit. I can understand why they did the mana stuff. Playing the job optimally should not require an MP tick plugin. I can kind of understand why they tried to tamp down on the non-standard stuff, even the removal of Ice Paradox, even though that completely destroys the whole fantasy and theme behind Paradox. Whatever, I get it. I don't understand why they did what they did to Thunder. I hate the idea of like, hey, this button that you've had for like a decade, you can't just press it when you want now. Now you can only press it when you have this buff. So like multi-dotting just doesn't exist now. A huge strength of Black Mage was its power in 2 target encounters like BJCC, Living Liquid, Eyes and DSR, Double Dragons. Black Mage very strong in those encounters because of double dotting. You just can't anymore. Not even like the dot isn't as powerful if you just can't. Like you literally just can't do it. You just can't press your button. Horrendous change. Not only that, but Thundercloud used to be so strong that if you had a Thundercloud proc and you wanted to use it for movement, it was only a very minor loss to refresh your Thunder like relatively early. Because if you had that Thundercloud proc, your Thunder 3 was so strong. It was like a huge fucking ability. Now, no matter what, it's the same potency all the time, so Thunder is now gone as a movement tool. The removal of Sharpcast, also very stupid, because that was just like a form of skill expression that just doesn't exist anymore. The ability to use your Sharpcast on fire or on Thunder was cool. I think it allowed to do some cool lines and ultimates. The ice, the MP changes are almost good, but what I think they should have done, instead of needing to land an ice spell, I think they should have just made it so that you need to land any spell while in Umbral Ice. That would allow you to skip Blizzard 4 by using like Xenoglossies or Thunder refreshes or whatever to still get your MP back, but still skip B4 to do some cool non-standard lines. However, that's not really worth doing. Why? Well, because Flare Star is fucking awful. It just is bad because you don't keep your stacks when you go into ice, which means that short fire phases are now just not viable, which was a big way that you could push extra damage out in ultimates. But like, this is a perfect example of like, so you start in AF 1, you sharp Paradox, and then fire 3. Already like 9 things that you can't do anymore. And then you do, I think, 5 fire 4s. No, sorry, you do a super short phase there. That's right. So you do 2 F4s, a despair, you transpose, you double Xenoglossy to let yourself get 6,400 MP back. Then you still have 1 Umbral Ice. So you transpose, you sharp, Hardcast Paradox, fire 3, and then you finish out the fire line. You do, I think this is 4 fire 4s, 3 fire 4s, Xeno, Sharpcast, Despair. So like that type of like, I have exactly this much time to hit the boss. I'm going to do something non-traditional. This does not require an MP tick trigger to do. It is extremely consistent. You have more than enough time to get the MP ticks to get to 6,400. Like, this is 100% console player friendly gameplay right here. And it allows you to just be so much more creative with your buttons, because you don't have to be like, okay, now I press fire 4 6 times so that I can unlock my super button, Flare Star. Gah! Like, it's just, ugh. They fucking massacred this job. Because on the surface, it doesn't feel like it would be that different. But once you start looking at these these kind of applications, you can take the tools the job has to do really unique things with like unique phases like this. Like, look at how much time you have. Despair, untargetable. Like, you just push out exactly how much you can before he goes untargetable, and that's just like so satisfying, and it was such a fun thing to do on this job, and now you just can't do it. Also, this is kind of minor in the grand scheme of things, because it's in the end, at the end of the day, it's mostly dungeon tech. Why did they get rid of enhanced flare? That felt like such a weird decision. That shit's just gone. Severe top level Strath Nurse. Yeah. But not even like, dude, I'm not like, I'm not like some god player. I'm above average, but not by that much Black Mage player. Yeah, I mean, obviously I have lots of thoughts, and like, it's hard to not be enthusiastic about it. This is my first tier not playing Black Mage in Savage ever. I've been Savage rating since Eden's Gate. I've played Black Mage in every single Savage tier, but it's not the job I enjoy anymore. I would say the biggest change they need to do is change Thunder so that Thunderhead gives you the potency equivalent of Thundercloud procs, and you can still hardcast Thunder just at its regular potency. That alone would be an incredible change. The Manafont change is mostly good. I will say that making it a shorter cooldown has a similar effect that Manification has, where it's just, if you hold it for 2 minutes and you don't know your kill time, you're gonna lose a use. And unless you're playing in an extremely organized static that's extremely consistent and has extremely consistent kill times, you're just gonna rip it on cooldown, which means that it's just gonna drift anyway. So, like, whatever. Black Mage is not like the strongest buff feed job to begin with. Like, it can buff feed, but it's certainly not the strongest job at doing so. It doesn't have some kind of like ridiculous 2-minute burst. Even now, like, it still doesn't really have a ton of 2-minute bursts. So like, Manafont drifting away from the 2-minute window is like not a huge deal. It's just kind of awkward. Overall, I think Manafont's received a net positive change. I like to do 90th percentile. I feel like that's a good, like, I know how to hit my buttons, but I'm not like giga parsing. Like, dude, that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Like 150 RDPS difference. Yeah, so this is still pretty bad, but like, it's better here. But like, the thing is, in Final Fantasy XIV, when you think about the average fight, it's pure single target, full uptime. Like, that's 90% of Savage fights in this game. So you're gonna look more like this. Jesus, dude. 28,000 parses. Very, very unfortunate. Oh well. Honestly, the thing that makes this all okay is that Pictomancer is so much fucking fun. Like, it's so fun, dude. Job fucking owns.